This is lesson 7.6, solving two-step equations. A quick overview of this lesson is that when you have a two-step equation, you should work at simplifying both sides of the equation and then work backwards to isolate the variable. That's always the goal in algebra, isolate the variable. So we're going to look at a couple examples of how that works. If we have the problem negative 12 times the quantity x minus 2 minus 6x equals negative 48, we have a couple steps to undo before we can figure out what these x's are. So we're going to, first of all, change the subtraction to add the opposite. So we'll make this plus, oops, plus negative 2 and make this plus negative 6x. And we use the distributive property to multiply negative 12 times x, and by negative 2 the result is negative 12x. I'm going to switch that color there. Negative 12x plus negative 12 times negative 2 is 24 plus negative 6x equals negative 48. We can combine the negative 12x and the negative 6x, and the result would be negative 18x plus 24 equals negative 48. Then you cover up the variable here. You see add 24. And since we see a negative 48 over here, it's going to be to our advantage to just add negative 24. So that gives a zero pair here. And add negative 24 to the right side. So this would be a 0. It'll disappear. Negative 18x would equal negative 72. And divide both sides by negative 18. And 18 goes into 72 4 times. So we're left with x equals positive 4. We're going to go to another example, and both these examples are found in your books in lesson 7.6. So when we have this, we have some arithmetic to do over on the right side. We have a 2/3 plus 1/6. So I'm just going to go over to the side and do that work. Our common denominator is a 6. This will be times 2. Times 2 gives us 4/6 here. Keep the 1/6, and the result is it's a 5/6. So the right side simplifies to be 5/6. And then keeping it simple and doing one step at a time. Now we want to work towards getting x by itself, so we're going to subtract 1 here. And this would be minus 1. So what I'm going to do this subtraction is make this equal to negative 6/6. This is still 5/6. So the result here would be a negative 1/6. And this is a 0 pair. So I'm going to bring this on down here. 2/3, negative 2/3 x equals negative 1/6. So I'm trying to get everything up there. So now I want to multiply by the inverse of the multiplicative inverse of negative 2/3, which should be negative 3/2. We'll do that to this side also. So this will be a 1, and the x would come down. So 1x equals negative 1 times negative 3 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. And in lowest terms, that's 1/4. So there's the answer. Then there's a word problem that I wanted to work that talks about, this is actually problem number 16 on page 167. And the conditions are the problems are that a lawyer charged $340 for working a certain number of hours, but in addition to their hourly rate, they charge $35 for a filing fee, and they charge $65 to just for some expenses that they had, overhead expenses they call it in the problem. So the question is, how much did they charge per hour if the total bill was $340? So that's what the total bill was. It was the bottom line. How many hours did that lawyer work? So he got his three fees were for the hours and the $35 and the $65. So if we add all of those up, his hourly fee would be $80 times the number of hours he worked, plus the $35 for the filing fee, plus $65 for expenses, and that total is $340. So now we're down to the equation that we would solve. It's going to be a multiplication and an addition we have to undo. Combine these two things, and we get 100. So 80H plus 100 would be 340. So get that up a little bit. Then we have to subtract 100 from the left side and subtract 100 from the right side. And this would be another zero pair, which is going to disappear from there. So 80H equals 240. And our last step is to divide both sides by 80. And the number of hours would be, we can cancel that and do 24 divided by 8. Gives us 3 hours. So if you want to make a lot of money, go into law. You work for 3 hours and make $340. That sounds like a pretty good deal.